Hey folks, how are we doing today? Good, I hope. Exciting times again today for Project MR2. So as I speak right now, my son is winging his way back from picking me up a hard top and fitting kit and a Long Life, which is a UK brand, stainless steel exhaust, which is pretty much the same sort of design as the TTE one. So I'm going to prep the MR2 now. I would have gone and got it myself, but I've been a bit poorly recently, so I've been sort of confined to barracks, as it were. In terms of getting the car ready, I want to wash the recess of the roof, or the back of the roof if you like, where the hood folds down, so there's no horribleness because it's going to be folded down for a couple of months. And then we'll go over fitting the full fitting kit and putting the hard top on. What I'll also do is I'll take some measurements for people, so if you're looking at buying a hard top and things like picking the thing up, you know, having a vehicle big enough to pick it up, if you're not just going to go and bolt it onto your MR2, I'll put some of that in the description, so let's get going.
Okay, so the first thing I did was obviously just release the roof slightly because I needed better access to be able to just get into the underneath of the vinyl where it met the back of the car edge trim there, and you tend to get a lot of build up of dirt and stuff, so I just wanted to wash that away, and from underneath where the window fits to the side panels of the roof. And then once I washed all that out, there was a fair amount of debris there. I just got an airline, blew the water out, and then I knew it would be nice and dry for putting away.
This is pretty much a full fitting kit that you would get from Toyota if you had this fitted from the factory. The only two things that are missing is you get these sort of little gloves, these little leather looking sort of gloves that's fit on here, so when the hard top's not on in the summer, there's like a soft thing that fits over those so you don't catch yourself on them, I suppose. So these are the two sort of mid-body side strikers that it clamps to, and they come with these bolts each. To begin with, you put the bolts in, you fit that loosely, clamp it and then tighten them up. These are the two rears, and there's two sort of body bolts go on there, and then two bolts for these. Now that's a hex, these are Torx, and the ones for these are Torx as well, I suppose it's to prevent anyone from sort of stealing them perhaps. You'll also get hard top demister cable, so you unplug the cable that's attached to the hood, you plug that into the body part of the loom, and then the other side to the hard top itself, and that is a full hard top. Now one thing I will say is that if you don't manage to get these and you've only got these, some people have said, well, it's okay because it'll clamp on the back, it'll clamp to the top of the windscreen on the frame there at the front, and I'll get these at a later date. Now the problem that you'll have with these is they are a significant part of the fitting kit because they clamp down the middle part for water sealing, and also if you don't have these, the wind and the air going through and around the hard top, it will actually whistle. So just consider that. You know, they designed those in for a reason. Let's start getting this fitted. It is starting to look decidedly dodgy out there at the moment, and I think it might be raining, so we'll be up against it a bit, so we'll see how we get on.
So the first stage was to remove these blanking plates for the rear brackets. Now I've got a hex dress up bolt on mine, but there'll be, no, not hex, Allen key. On yours you'll have a standard hex bolt, and you'll just need to remove that out. Now you may in the summer want to replace those blanking plates and take the rear off, so do look after those. They won't just flop straight out, you'll need to pull them from under that black seal there. Now you'll see on the right hand side there, just where I'm pointing, there should actually be a bolt there to remove, but the previous owner who took the factory hardtop off of my car before I bought it didn't bother replacing that. So that is something that you'll have to remove. When you put the rear bracket on, just put it underneath that plastic trim there at the back of the hood, and then it's just a case of putting in all three bolts and clamping it down, and you'll see there is a Newton meter torque setting for these bolts. So just bear that in mind. If you haven't got a torque wrench, you don't have to wind these in super hard. They've got to be firm, but you know, they don't have to be super tight. So as we saw when we looked at the fittings for the kit in the workshop, you are going to need some torque sockets or bits to be able to fit the rear brackets. All the other fixings for the kit are standard hex heads, so you'll just need a standard socket set for those. And then just drop the engine lid. So to remove the side plastics to bolt in the side brackets, just pop the two plastic rivets there, drop the rear bin door, and then just pull up the trim that runs alongside the seal by the seat. You'll need to take that out first, and then the side trim will just pop off. It's on a metal clip along the door edge and one white plastic clip. Because I've got the bar fitted, I just slid that plastic along the top of the bar because I didn't want or need to have to take the bar off, but you won't have that issue. So with the striker, there's two bolts. The longer one goes in the top and the shorter one goes in the bottom. Now when you finally fit these properly, you'll need to put thread lock on these because that's what is fitted by the Toyota when they put these kits in. The bolts are thread locked. Remember though, the top of that, it needs to remain flexible on the bolt. It's got to be able to move slightly because the top of the bracket and on the underside of the hard top, they actually sit on top of each other, and they've got to be able to sit flat, and so you need that little bit of movement for that to be able to happen. And then once you've clamped the hard top on, you can really do those up tight. So remember, at this stage you need to keep those a little bit loose, not loads, you know, you don't want them flopping around necessarily everywhere, but they've just got to be so they can move slightly and butt up to the underneath of the hard top. There's like a little ball that sits on the top of that on the base of the hard top. So we lifted the hard top on. I would definitely recommend for a first time having a able assistant to help you to do that. Now you basically hook it in the back, as you see in the diagram there, hook it on the back, push it forward so the hooks slide underneath the hooks of the rear brackets, not on top, and then it will just drop down at the front. And then once you know you're okay there, just put all the clamps, you know, do the clamps up as you would do normally with your soft tops. The clamp points are exactly the same as your soft top. So there's the torque settings there for the side strikers, a little bit less than the rear, so do bear that in mind. Don't leave the torque setting on your torque wrench if you're using one the same as for the brackets on the rear, and don't forget to put your thread lock on. Now with the cable, you will need to remove the piece of plastic in the corner. There's two tabs to pull out, and then that just lifts away, and you'll see the plug for the demister cable. Plug that in the bottom, run it through that little vinyl tab there, which kind of holds it in place. You can see there's the two tabs I'm talking about for taking out that side plastic piece. It's just a trim piece, and then just push the those two tabs back and it locks it in place. And then you need to bring that cable up behind the side plastics, just where that bar is, but you may not have the bar, and then plug it into that plug at the side of the hard top, and you're good to go. And that's pretty much it. You may find that you need to adjust the brackets of the hard top because you need it to clamp ever so slightly to ensure you've got good weather sealing, and I'll be covering that in a video in the coming week, because I do need to adjust the brackets on the hard top for my car. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, do consider subscribing if you like the content, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.